something that you had posted, and I thought it was super cool that you and your dad made a mixture of.
Thank you.
Even that one time you made me wrestle Oliveira.
Laugh a little bit there.
I felt like your dad was. I can only imagine what he did to you.
You remember, you don't want to wrestle and Zubair don't want to wrestle. And I make you and him like, hey, let's wrestle. You remember? Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That was cool, you know. It's humble Henry time, you know. People need to know the other side, you know. Let's put the cringe aside for a second, and it was an awesome gift, man. It was a gift of obviously Khabib and his dad, and it was like a split face, and he had posted on social media. I'm just like, you know, I want to get a pillow made of that, and I ended up giving it to Khabib.
There it is, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Triple C and Schmo Show. I'm the Schmo. My partner's got Olympic gold medal. He's the double champ, Henry Cejudo.
Let's get this ball rolling because time is money, Schmo, and money is time. Let's go.
Well, here we are, man. We're on South Beach, Miami, Florida. We got EagleFC 47. We'll get to that shortly. But Triple C, man, everyone wants to know. Let's get an update on the comeback, man.
Yeah, excited, Schmo. Excited, Schmo. I've officially been in USADA for the last, couple weeks since Alexander Volkanovski has fought. And I've been in USADA ever since. I've already been tested already.
Twice?
Twice, man. So people coming at your house at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I mean, it is absolutely horrible and terrible, but it has to be done, you know, on top of the crying baby.
And speaking of crying babies, the baby was in the background. He had Aljamain Sterling at the house with DC, the DC check-in show. You had Aljamain right there. Literally, the guy who you may be fighting next right inside the living room.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you know, I brought him in. Like, to me, like, people need to recognize that I'm just the ultimate competitor. When DC said, hey, do you want to... Well, first, I actually started with Ali. Well, I started with DC, and DC was like, hey, do you mind if we, you know, put Aljamain on the phone and you guys can kind of talk a little bit? And I'm just like, no, I think that's too lame. I'd rather do it in person. And then, like, a couple hours later, Ali was like, hey, man, why don't you just bring him to your house, dude? Why don't you guys just talk and do a face-off and, like, a conversation? Kind of like what they do, like, in boxing, you know, with Max Kellerman, which I always thought it was pretty cool. And then Cormier did it, and I just thought it was brilliant. And, you know, I let Aljamain Sterling let him know that he ain't going past 3 rounds with Triple C.
So Triple C, obviously the Schmo talked to Ali Abdulaziz, your manager, yesterday. You got Captain talking, we got you talking. The next fight. Is it going to be Aljamain Sterling, 135 pounds? Is that locked and loaded to go, or there could be somebody else?
Aljamain, enjoy that belt. Enjoy that damn belt because your ass is next, man. Your ass is next, and that's all there is to it. And Alexander Volkanovski, like, you ain't off the hook because at the end of the day, that's my overall goal, is to go up to that 3rd division and snatch that belt from him, from those small little hands of his. He reminds me of that guy from, like, the Burger King commercial. You ever seen it? Where, like, the burger's that big and his hands are like...
Got to make the burger look good.
Exactly, man. But I gotta snatch that belt from him, Schmo.
That's why he wants to be C4. Let's get right into the gold medal moment. Charles Dubronx Oliveira, 155 pounds. We're all speculating who's he fighting next, because it's a #1 contender fight. I mean, we're going for a vacant belt. Who is Islam's next opponent? I said Islam. It's Dustin Poirier. Is it Islam Makhachev?
You talking about, you think Dustin Poirier is going to fight Islam?
The Schmo is all over the place right here.
Wow.
Charles Oliveira, 155 pounds, the champion. Or not. I mean, vacant. Who's he fighting?
Really, the most deserving fight for him is a guy that's on a 10-fight win streak, and that is, you know...
Islam.
That it really is, because who else can you think of, man? Obviously Dariush, yeah, but I just feel like they need to make that fight happen, because it's like, it's too... Nobody wants to fight this dude. It's the same thing with, like, Chimaev, and he's in a 10-fight win streak, so I think he deserves it.
Well, Dariush was supposed to fight him. I believe Dariush has a 7-fight winning streak. And because he did not fight RDA, you know, the short notice fight, that week later, he was talking all that smack online, or they were going back and forth. They've always been talking smack towards each other, RDA and Islam. He didn't fight Islam. That's why you opened the door for Dana White to say we still want to see Islam Makhachev and Beneil Dariush.
Yeah, anybody, this is the thing, man, with anybody that's with Khabib, man, they just have this very vicious ground and pound and style of fighting that if you don't have any takedown defense, man, you shouldn't be fighting guys like that. But that being said, Islam should have never started that. He should have been never provoked RDA, man. I thought that was silly, man. If you weren't gonna really fight him, so I also see that side of that why they don't want to give it to him, because now you got to earn it. Where in the other sense, the fact that he got hurt and then he just took out, Dan the cheap hooker out so quick that it could have been, he could have been the next in line. I don't know. I still feel like he deserves it. He's proven it. There's a lineage there with Khabib, with the passing of his father. He was the next guy in line. I think it's perfect, man. I think Dana should make that fight happen. It's the fight that the competitors want to see. And that's it. Make it happen.
Then what would be next for Beneil Dariush?
Well, he needs to get healthy.
September. Ali told the Schmo he'd be ready to fight. September.
Okay, so that's kind of coming up. It changes. It depends when he's ready to fight. Because if he was ready to fight in July, that would actually have been even better. And then you make him fight Islam. But it depends what they want to do. But maybe Dariush, maybe you put him up against the winner of RDA and that Russian.
RDA and Fiziev.
Yeah, Fiziev. And the winner of that fight, the winner of that fight fights Dariush, and then the winner of that fight gets the next title shot.
I like it. Not a bad idea. And let's speak.
You're welcome.
Well, appreciate that. 155 pounds. That's Dustin Poirier's weight division. We're going to stick to this 155 pounds. Him and Colby Covington. We heard Dustin Poirier say that he would fight Colby Covington 170 pounds. We haven't heard from Colby Covington yet. You like that fight, Triple C?
For Dustin?
Wolfman.
Yeah, but I also think Dustin, it's the same thing like George, man. These guys are strikers and they're submission artists, but if you don't understand the ground of wrestling, you're in trouble, dude. And I would go for Dustin again, but I think that's admirable that he would want to fight Kobe. And yeah, man, I think that fight should happen. I think all that smack that people talk, dude, do it in the octagon. Why freaking, talk about in the streets? If I see you in the streets, dude, do it in the damn octagon. We're in the entertainment business, and that's partially, I appreciate Kobe for being such a heel, man. You know what I'm saying? But he's never been a world champion on top of that. He's been an interim champ, but he's never been a world champ. So his talk is still cheap to me, too.
Well, it's interesting. We want to talk about champions. 2-0, Aljamain Sterling in title fights. Colby Covington, 0-2. Robert Whittaker, 0-2. Just to name a couple of names. Dustin Poirier, 0-2. But like I said, Aljamain Sterling, 2-0 in title fights.
Until he goes up against Triple C, and then he will be bending much more than one knee. And you don't want me to go. You don't want me to keep going, Schmo.
Okay, well, we're going to go on to Conor McGregor, someone that you keep going back and forth online. We're going to call it the silver medal moment. Maybe he's itching to get back in there. Conor McGregor, who is a likely opponent if it's not Triple C? Best opponent for him.
You're talking about for Conor McGregor? I like the Tony Ferguson fight for him. I think that fight is winnable for Conor. Conor, he cannot be taking these high-level competition. He's going to get hurt. He's going to continue to keep getting hurt. He you know what I'm saying? I think he'd go up with Tony, and then maybe, of course he's a cash cow. Give him whoever you want at 55 or 70. But I think he needs to get his feet win, at least fucking win, man. Win a damn fight. I critique Conor McGregor's videos, and I tend to make a freaking living off of that. It's crazy because there's a lot of flaws that he has. As good as he was in the past, there's still a lot of flaws that he has that he's still not fixing. So I'm still not sold on that chump.
Well, what if he's not putting out those videos? He's purposely just trying to get someone like you to criticize him, and he's really working on some other things that he's not showing on video.
I don't believe it, man, because you can tell he's really into it. That's all he shows. He should show some damn wrestling, man. Show a takedown defense. If I was Conor McGregor, with all the money that you have somebody to live with you, man, full time, where they're with you and they're dissecting you and they're making wrestling fun. I think the biggest thing with Conor, he needs to find a teacher that could really teach him, not a coach, a teacher. And then once you find that teacher that could really teach him, and then you put it into practice where you're actually going live and things of that nature. But what happens with a lot of these guys is they go too hard too early, and yeah, wrestling's the toughest sport of them all. It will break you, man. Fucking people diving into your knees, your shoulders, your neck, your toes, your crack.
Everywhere, man. Sniffing jocks. We understand what it's all about. We like what you said, though, with Conor McGregor, Tony Ferguson. Both those guys need the victory. Both those guys great on the mic. Both these guys, perfect time for their career. If Nate Diaz isn't the fight for Conor, it's all going to depend when he can actually return to the octagon. We do like that fight, Triple C.
Yeah, I'm sorry, who's that?
Well, Nate Diaz, the trilogy fight, or Tony Ferguson. The Schmo can't complain with either of those two options.
Yeah, well, right now the UFC, I think they want to feed him to a shark. That's why they're trying to kill Hamzat. You know, because Diaz knows that there's so much money to be made outside the UFC that he doesn't even care what millions that they're going to end up giving him. He just wants to fight somebody else with the name, and he wants out, which is smart. But I wouldn't pick a killer like Chimaev or yeah, I wouldn't pick anybody. I'd pick anybody else but Chimaev.
I think they picked him for him.
Yeah, they're trying to slaughter him, man. And I look out for Nate. Nate's done a lot for the sport. He fights. When he fights, he fights. You know, maybe he's not as gifted as other fighters, but he goes out there and he puts on a show. And I do believe that Nate leaving the UFC is just going to generate more money for fighters and kind of giving that leverage to fighters. Like, hey, man, it's not the UFC is not the only place where you can make a good living.
Well, that's what leaves us here into the bronze medal moment. We're here for EagleFC 47 here on South Beach. Sun is setting. Sorry about the lighting. We're not sorry about the venue. Nice sand between the toes. But Triple C, what are you looking forward to the most? We got JDS, Yorgan De Castro. JDS wins. Khabib's going to go do a deal maybe with Scott Coker to have JDS versus Fedor. And then if Yorgan De Castro wins, he's fighting for the EagleFC Heavyweight Championship next.
But even if RDA doesn't win, even if he doesn't beat De Castro, like what Khabib is really doing, bro, is actually really amazing because he's going to build that gap between ONE FC, between Bellator, between PFL, between all these different organizations, and they're all going to really kind of start coming together. We're all going to start mixing, and maybe in the future it's going to probably force the UFC to do the exact same thing, the biggest company in the world, because it's all about the best fighting the best, and just making the money pot that much bigger. So it's exciting for me because Khabib is a fighter who is very well respected. Everybody respects him, and anybody will answer that call for Khabib.
And there's a lot of guys here that have fought in the UFC, fought on Contender Series. There's guys that fought in Bellator. There's a lot of big names here as well. Outside of JDS, Yorgan De Castro, what match are you looking forward to the most here?
God, there's so many good matches. I'm gonna have to say that maybe the co-main event with with Thiago, Silva, and Hector Lombard. I think that fight is gonna be a war, man. Because these two have trained together, and they're both notorious in the training room that people kind of dodge them and whatnot. So it's two former training partners that were always vicious, that probably sparred against each other, that always went hard, and now they're gonna be able to get paid by it or for it.
Islam Magomedov, the Schmo was there when he fought in Bellator. He's right over here. Yeah. We got a lot of different people here. You're Olympian, man. He's fought in the last time we had the EagleFC card.
Who's that?
The 135-pounder.
Which one?
The 135-pounder.
Islam.
No. I'm forgetting the name.
Sean Bunch?
Sean Bunch.
Oh yeah, Bunch the Great. Yeah, he's good, man. Bunch is my former training partner from back in the day. People don't know this, man. Sean Bunch was he was an Olympic alternate for both 2008 and 2012. It was a trip, man. And finalists at the NCAA's are runner-up, dude. Like his accolades, man. He's one of the best wrestlers in mixed martial arts right now, pound for pound. It's a trip. And he had some hiccups, and now he's riding the wrong. He's on a 2-fight win streak, or I don't know what the win streak is, but he's out here making a name for himself at EagleFC.
And the Schmo saw you doing the pre-fight show with Chael Sonnen. You had Kamaru Usman, and you had Khabib. All four of you guys sitting down inside the cage talking shop.
Yeah, man, it's super cool, bro. It's super cool to be able to kind of just relate or just talk fighting, man, inside the octagon, with couches and things of that nature, man. And then after we're done, me and Kamaru and Khabib, we got together just talking philosophy and things like that. And we're just, it was cool, man. Really cool.
You think Charles Dubronx Oliveira, he beats Islam, could pull Khabib out of retirement? Is that what the vibes you were getting out of him?
I think yeah, but I don't think Khabib's ever making 155 pounds ever again.
How much do you think he's weighing right now? 200, 205?
He's up there, man. I'm thinking he's probably about 210.
Whew.
I think from 55 to 210, that's fine, man. That's like 60 pounds.
So no one's getting him back down to 155.
No, but I think 170 or even, I think 170, I think Khabib would do it. But I think he's at the point where he's such at peace. Like if I was in Khabib's situation, I had all that money, I'd be in the same position that he was. I'm only a year and a half older than him. The difference is Khabib's got the money. You know, Khabib's made a lot of money, and our situation is like, man, you know, we got to scrap for freedom. So that's why I'm back. So my motivation now, especially with the family and a daughter, is I'm just seeing dollar signs in everybody's face, ugly faces, man. So every time I see Aljamain's ugly face, I see a nice dollar bill on there.
There it is, folks. And that's going to wrap up this edition of the Triple C and Schmo Show. Make sure you watch, you download, you subscribe on YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast, that's where you can download Triple C. Final thought.
Final thoughts, you guys stay tuned, man. EagleFC is about to go down. And I'm just excited, Schmo. I'm just excited for what's to come. There's a lot of great events. And you guys stay tuned with Triple C, because who knows? You may be the next to bend the knee.
What's your name?
I am Triple C.
I am the Schmo. We will deliver, and we are out. Sean Bunch.